it's not the DRC is not a significant contributor to your profit line. But the issue that's been debated, certainly on the Business Tonight news desk, among potential shareholders and fund managers, is whether this is an indication of further trouble as you try to expand onto the African continent.
Look, every country on the continent is unique. Different countries have developed differently over the years. The DRC has had different issues. They've come out of a war. They have the economic situation last year hit them very badly. A lot of the mines had to close down temporarily. And if you look at other countries, the African continent, 1 billion people living on the continent, telephony, early days, internet penetration, very low. So the continent has a lot to still present to investors. We as investors also still has a lot to do for the continent, because from telecommunications comes economic development. And I believe that if we can continue to invest, we've done the voice, we are democratizing voice on the continent, but the next step is definitely internet.
And what are your aspirations on the internet side for the African continent?
As I mentioned, internet penetration very low. If you look at 15 years ago, voice penetration was very low. So over the years, that has been built up. But today, if you want to do business, you can't just be able to make a call or receive a call. You need to be part of the world. Take children. If they really want to be part of the economy one day, they need to know what's going on, and the internet is one answer. Good schooling is one, but also you need access to information. Email, good communications. So that's why we are, together with others, continue to invest in Africa. Take the WAX undersea cable, the West African cable system. That is going to make a big difference to the continent. Putting a lot of bandwidth up the coast, bringing the rest of the world to Africa.
Because the key is cheap bandwidth.
Yes.
Are we heading in that direction?
We still have a lot of work to do, but things are improving. We saw Seacom going into the water last year on the East Coast. We still need to sort out the West Coast. That's why we've teamed up with 11 other players. We're investing. Hopefully that'll be in the water by 2012, and that'll make another big difference. So in the long term, bandwidth, the price has to come down, because everything will be data in the long term. Voice will just be part of data. If you look at what's happening to the world, it's about being connected, being about information, exchanging information, real time. And you can only do that if you have good bandwidth.
Is this what you want shareholders to get excited about, where Vodacom is concerned, the potential growth where internet penetration is concerned?
And it's not just about internet, because yes, we've had voice and it's enabled economies to develop and businesses to grow, but it's all about the convergence where things come together. Access to internet is one thing, but you also need, as a business, to be able to connect your offices together. So when you're somewhere in the world and you want to have access to a PowerPoint presentation back home, or something updated, or your budget, that you can, from anywhere, quickly click on your device, be it a PC, and get the latest information. So speed and communication and access to broadband, it's critical for the development of the continent, and we'll continue to develop products to support that. So it's not just about the bandwidth, it's about developing the products. That's why we've invested in Vodacom Business, developing that product suite. Consumer side, we are bringing down the price of notebooks. We are selling notebooks to consumers.
The other topic that is widely debated among potential shareholders is whether you can compete with MTN on the African continent, considering they have first move advantage.
MTN has always been a good competitor. I have a lot of respect for them, and I'm not comparing Vodacom and an MTN. It's about growing the business,
but shareholders compare MTN
so it's
and
about
Vodacom.
They are bigger. They've invested in more countries than we have, but to me, it's about growing the business, eventually growing the share price. If we grow the business, the share price should also grow, and that's where the return comes to the shareholders, paying out good dividends. So we just need to do what we do well, and we'll continue to focus on what we do well.
How are you going to leverage off Vodafone on the African continent, given the fact that they are your majority shareholder?
Yeah, they're also not new to the continent. They strongly believe in investing in developing countries, and Africa is one of the areas that they've, for many years, have focused on. So they've invested in Ghana, they've invested in Kenya. We have our properties, and we work together. They're a good shareholder. They're now 65% shareholder. They bring many benefits to us. So we continue to leverage off what they bring, bring the products that they develop to our customers. Take the iPhone here. It's now been to South Africa for 18 months, 2 years. We would not have been able to bring that to South Africa. And I think more and more of those devices, take the low-cost handset, we would not have been able to bring the cost of handsets down without their leverage.
You mentioned that Vodafone has traction in Kenya and in Ghana. Does that mean that the Vodacom brand will never play a part in those territories?
Vodacom, Vodafone, we like one at the moment.
Synonymous.
It's the same thing. We team up. We have products that cut across borders. We have Vodacom. We have Vodafone data card. It's just the same thing. What
is your biggest challenge right now?
I think coming out of last year, the economy, that was a big thing that we had to come out of, and we continue to focus on cost, do the right things, but you can't just focus on cost because there will be an after the economic slowdown period, and we have to be ready for that, for when that happens. Also, competition is not going to wait for you. We have the #1 position in South Africa. We have the #1 positions in our other markets. We want to continue to defend that. We want to continue to be the player. And if I look at the technological environment, that has changed. It's not just about voice. So if we don't reinvent the company, we will also not be a player in the future. So lots of things that we need to focus on and come out as the leader.
Do you think that our economic woes are over, specifically in South Africa?
I've seen early signs that things are getting better. I think the South African government has also done its part. Things are stable. We are looking at early signs, early indicators, as we indicated last time when we announced our half-year results. There are early signs, early indicators that show that things could be on the uprise, and I'm very hopeful.